Hey, everybody, it's your girl Barbie J here, and I'm back with another one of Tyler Perry's comedy dramas, Sistas, Season 5, Episode 14, Fair Game. And y'all know y'all heard a lot of fair today. That's not fair. That's not fair. We heard Andi say it. Zach said it a couple of times. And every time the word came out, it seemed like it was because Karen was attacking somebody, so they had to tell Karen she wasn't being fair. You know, that's how it seemed to me, but I could be wrong. And as I always say, y'all write it down in the comment section because I don't mind being corrected because I forget things. Anyhow, I want to jump into this real quick and get it started. But before I do that, I'd like to make a request from those of you who have come to my channel but haven't yet subscribed. Please, I'm asking that you do hit that subscribe button and help my channel grow. I'm trying to reach a goal of 2,000 subscribers by my birthday, and it's a milestone birthday, and it's going to be a celebration of life as long as I get to live to make it to that birthday, because you all know what I've been going through the past like 6-7 months. Anyhow, I was notified that at least 80% of you who come to my channel haven't yet subscribed. I don't know what's holding you back, but I'm asking that you make a decision for this 2023 year to please support my channel and hit that subscribe button. Then hit the notification bell and it'll let you know every time. Oh, select all and it'll let you know every time I upload any new content. All right, so I can try to make people smile, put a smile on your face or something this year. Woo. And as you all know how much I appreciate and love all of you, you know you've been there with me through my health challenges. I'm still going through some of them, but I appreciate you all. And I still ask to keep me in prayer so that I will make it to my birthday, which is June 1st. Okay? Anyway, now let's get started with this recap review. So it starts off with Zach, wanting to talk about the baby, the child support. And of course, I told you, I think that this is way too soon to be discussing a baby he doesn't know is his. And Karen said the same thing, like, why all of a sudden this? And I was with her, and then Zach said he would, contribute $3,000 a month. I said, I think that was a little low, but then I was like, maybe that's because I'm in New York and the cost of living in Georgia is probably much lower. So that's the only reason I thought it was way too low. Anyhow, Karen was like, I see. And Zach was like, what do you see? And she's like, I see that nice ass house here. And I see them 2 nice ass cars out there. I was like, I hear you, girl. So Fatima asked Karen, what's up? And Karen's like, look, I don't have a problem with you because if I did, I wouldn't be here. Trust me. And I was like, no. Now we all know that a big fat lie. Karen can't stand Fatima for no reason at all. And then Karen said, if I wasn't cool, I wouldn't be sitting here. I would be talking about that desk, that same desk that you built for me. I said, wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. When did, somebody gonna have to put that down in the comment section. When is it that Zach made some desk? I mean, this is making no sense right now because Zach had nothing in Karen's house from what we know. And when he left out of the place, it was basically with the clothes on his back. So where was this desk supposedly be? So I don't get it, that part. But then she's like, well, Zach, I ain't going to sue you over child support if that's what you're afraid of. I ain't going to ask you for nothing because I don't need you to raise this child because I have my own money. I always have. I said, ooh, the shade. She was shady. And she said, and I have Aaron who is willing to step up even though he knows this ain't his baby. And I said, ooh, and Zach said, I plan on being there fully, Karen. And said, oh, good. Then the child will have 2 fathers. I said, see, that was a call for. And then Andi was like, Karen, because Karen was trying to go there. She was trying to start some messy mess. And it's like, if you're going to come up there, you shouldn't even come. If you're going to sit there with the attitude and all that stuff, I would have just not come. I would have came when I was ready and not just to be, sitting there with my face all twisted and everything. Anyhow, Karen gets up to leave and tells them it's a nice house and then told Fatima that she wishes her well in the struggle. And Fatima said, Karen, it's not a struggle, honey, but thank you. Then Karen said, well, you ain't been at it long. And I'm like, here we go. Now Andy's trying to quiet Karen down and to get her to the door. And Zach is trying to keep Fatima from checking Karen. But he was unsuccessful because Fatima told Karen, you don't wish me well at all because you wouldn't keep throwing me shade. And then Karen admitted to throwing shade because she sees them happy and it's effed up, she said. I said, oh, okay. But you're supposed to be okay with it. So why? I don't get it. But then Karen also said, I want to be happy and I want him to be happy too. So when this child of his I'm carrying come out, we all could be happy. And Fatima agreed. And then Karen started on the things that pisses her off in the house, and then she sees the ring and had the nerve. Now this was nerve to go over and pick up the engagement ring. You don't touch nothing in anybody else's house, but she picked up the engagement ring that she saw on the desk. I'm like, really, girl? And walked over there too, and like, so y'all engaged? And Zach said yes and snatched her. He didn't snatch it, but he took the ring out of her hand. I said, but who has the nerve to even pick it up and touch it? So now Karen is pissed and is changing her tune and is trying to guilt Zach. And he's like, Karen, that's not fair. There we go with the fair, right? And I think I heard that line. I did hear it a few times. So now Karen is saying, y'all come up with an agreement. And Andi, you look it over and I'll sign it. And then they leave out. I was like, what is that all about? So now Fatima's getting in a mood. And I don't like when she does this because this was all her idea and wanting her, all this she wanted to be done then and there. And it didn't need to be done this soon, but she wanted to. So Zach grabs her and starts speaking from his heart, saying how he'll understand if she no longer wants to marry him. And she's like, what is this insecure-ish, And he said, it's not insecurity. It's truth. It's not about me. It's about you. I see the pain in your face. And when a real man, hurts the woman he loves, he tries to fix it. But I can't fix this. Saying he loves her enough to know she deserves better than him. And oh my God, I was like, I'm about to cry. Watching Zach cry. I was like, I can't do this. So Fatima starts mentioning all the issues she's been through with her exes. And then she started crying. I was like, this is jacked up. They got me crying on this doggone show. I was so upset. Anyway, let me get myself together. Hold on. So now we have Calvin talking to Maurice, who was wondering if Sabrina has gotten in touch with Andi. He's getting upset, but he knows it's partially his fault. So he's giving Calvin a lot of attitude. And honestly, Maurice was getting on my last nerves with the way he was speaking to Calvin, who seems to be the only person he has on his side to help him other than Sabrina. Then when he said, I love you, Maurice refused to say it back, but instead continued to insult Calvin and calling him names. And I'm sitting there going, it's the same damn attitude of his that got him in jail in the first place. But I'm so glad that Calvin reminded Maurice that although you had nothing to do with the robbery, you did know the type of person Q was. And you invited him into your house. Even though Calvin was initiating it, that's your house, Maurice, and you could have told him no. Anyway, so now Karen is calling Pam to make sure that she locks up the salon appropriately, and she rolled up on the basketball court to talk to Aaron. Still no apartment sighting for Aaron. I thought we was going to get to see an apartment, but we didn't. So Pam asked her to stop micromanaging and that she got she got it. But they keep on mentioning this fire, y'all. So it's making me believe that something's going to happen to Karen's salon. Karen's salon is going to catch on fire or something's going to go down because they've been mentioning it way too many times, Anyway, so Karen asked Aaron how he was and said she came by to thank him for being consistent and amazing. He's like, oh, okay, what brought this about? But of course she didn't tell him, but he knows that something is up and asks, what's going on. Then she shares that she was just with Zach and Fatima talking about the baby and that it's all fine. Then he reminds her that he got her. And then she asks, am I going to see you tonight? He said, yeah, I'll bring the ice cream. He always got the ice cream for her. Okay, so now we at the penthouse and Danny shows up and Gary is standing there nude and he tries to hide behind the bowl and a napkin, with lemons in it or something like that. And Danny just keep looking, I said, Danny is so nasty. Most people would be up there, I would have left or turned around and hide mine. Danny was like, and I saw what you're working with. I want to look at it again. She didn't even care. Anyway, then Sabrina comes up and Danny tells her that Gary is there. And Sabrina's like, they're back together and Andy's holding out on us and all of this stuff. So Danny is talking, about Gary's junk and why Andi wants him back. And they're talking about Gary saying all this stuff. They don't like him. He's at her apartment and some few other things. And then he walks out the bedroom and he told them, I heard what y'all was saying and I have never done that again. That was the part about squeezing Andi. He said he's never done that again. And Danny says, oh, he was ear hustling over there, huh? So then Danny and Sabrina start asking Gary questions, are they back together? Are you okay with her seeing other people? Is he still stalking her, And he answered some of them and was saying, he let them know that he really loves Andi, how much, and that Andi loves him. And so he kept trying to leave, but, Danny wasn't trying to hear it. She was trying to say more stuff while Sabrina was like, no, let him go. But speaking of Sabrina, I actually liked this outfit that she had on today, that this episode. It was a really nice outfit. It was really cool. It fit her lovely. And I was like, it's about time they gave her something nice to wear. And y'all let me know down in the comment section how y'all felt about the outfit. But I really thought it was really cute. So anyway, Gary apologized to Danny and said that, she was like, don't even bother. I've seen it twice now. Same time next week, I was like, Danny is crazy. So then Danny tells Sabrina that she needs, to rethink the panty man. And I said, okay, grow up, Danny. Stop calling him panty man and stuff like that. That's not cool. And Sabrina, it upset her a little bit, But then she said, no, this is good. But then say Calvin. You ain't got to call him panty man. Don't do that. Grow up. Anyway, she said how Calvin was really riding for her. When she was in jail, and then Sabrina shared that Calvin was there when Bio stopped by her house to check on her, and that Calvin was really cool. Then she shared that she had seen Calvin enraged and told Danny that he beat the guy who did this to her with a golf club. She never said Q. She just said the guy, if y'all all caught that. And she said how she had to stop him. And Danny said she would have let him kill him and helped him bury the body. I said, oh, see, Danny, you crazy, Danny. You got to be careful. Sabrina did the right thing. Now, Andi arrives at the penthouse, tries to tell them the short version of what happened at Zach and Fatima's house. But then Karen arrives. And I'm sitting there going, how did Karen arrived right behind her when she made a detour at the basketball court? What was Andi doing all this time? It took her so long to get home. That didn't make sense. She shouldn't have come in right behind her. I'm sorry. I'm going to point out the things that don't make sense. Anyway, Andi says that she handled herself well and that she is proud of her. But that was after, Karen said, I know you were telling them about what happened. And Andi was like, no, I wasn't. She denied it. And Karen said, you're a bad liar. And I said, we've been hearing a lot of this, everybody's telling her she's a bad liar. Fatima tells her, Robin tells her. So something must going to happen with this bad liar stuff. The same way they keep bringing up, Karen's salon, that something might happen to, it could cause a fire. Something's going to happen. Anyhow, Karen asks Andi, does she know that they were engaged? And Andi says yes, and admitted it wasn't my business to tell. And Karen is all upset with this. How could you do that? What kind of friend are you? And Andi said, I'm a good and loyal friend. Karen's like, well, I know where your good and loyal lies. But she told it was not my place to tell you. That's up to them. And she's right. And I'm not understanding what Karen is expecting. You don't want her to tell your business, but then sometimes it seems like Karen does want her to tell her, because every time she tells Andi something, she goes, I know you're going to go back and tell her. I know you're going to go back and tell her. I don't know if y'all noticed that. Every time I said, then why do you keep telling her stuff? Because you want her to go back and tell them. Why would you keep saying that? Anyway, Karen says, you knew all the time and you didn't tell me. And I'm sitting there going, didn't I tell y'all that they wasn't going to have Andi say, I just found out? All she had to do is say, I just found out. But she didn't say that. So they tell Sabrina and Danny what Zach offered and that she didn't take it because it should be much more, she said, since it's based on income. And Andi said, but you said you didn't want it. And Karen said, I don't. So then Sabrina asked her why she's so cool about this. And she had the nerve to credit her mama in those letters that her mama had her write, saying that, she's feel much lighter or whatever. I don't know. And supposedly they really, really helped. Anyway, then Danny and Sabrina tell Andi about Gary being there butt naked and waiting for her. And Karen said, so he has a key to come and go as he pleases. And Andi looked at them and said, yes. She said, don't you three? I said, okay, girl, you let them know. Put them in check, girl. I like that Andi did that. So then Andi's all smiles and says she needs to go in her room to, call Gary, who's very apologetic. And she said, that's okay. Then he wants to, she wants him to come back later. She's going to try to get rid of them. And he says, okay. So when Andi comes back out of the bedroom, they're still out there saying negative stuff and ish about Gary. And I was like, that's a lot of nerve being up in her apartment doing that. But that's what friends do, right? I guess. Then Andi says that we are all, we're here to talk about Sabrina. Not about me, because Karen was asking her something about Gary. But the truth is, let's correct that again. They were meeting at that penthouse to discuss Karen and the baby and how she was going to tell them and what the steps was she was going to do. That's what they were there for. How it switched over, because Karen mentioned it when they was at Zach and Fatima's. She said, we got to go and check on Brina, right? But that wasn't the purpose of the meeting there. Anywho, I have to point it out when I see it, because the script changes be getting on my nerves, because it's almost an insult that we're not listening. We're paying attention. We're fans. So we're going to listen to everything that's being said. So as Andi is checking on how Sabrina's doing and what's going on, then Sabrina shares what the prosecutor wants Maurice to do and says that he has it out for me. And they're like, what? That ass, And then Danny blurts out, no, he doesn't have it out for you. He has it out for Andi. And everybody turns to look at Andi, meaning really Sabrina and Karen, because Danny looked away, So Andi shares what was up. And Sabrina is like now begging Andi to try to help Maurice. And Andi's like, you know how many favors, girl, I called in just for you. She's like, it's unfortunate. I feel bad, but I can't help him. I was like, what? And I wasn't mad at her, because it is. She's called in. Who she gonna call now? She's been calling in favors like crazy and putting up millions for her bail. So she said she will try. And that's all she had to do, is say try. She didn't say she would do it. I'll try. So then Danny lets them know that Preston is at her apartment now and that an engagement ring fell out of his pocket. No, it didn't fall out. You went and dug in his pocket and pulled it out. So you lied, Danny. Okay, and that he had threatened to marry someone else if she didn't stop him. So now I'm understanding all of this is about that ring, why she's giving all that attitude to Preston. Then we have Fatima. She sits next to Zach with the yellow envelope that she says Zach didn't open yet. He said he's not opening it now. Now, to me, this is his business right now. He opens it when he's ready. I don't like the pushiness. I know Fatima's looking out for him, but there's no rush right now. If he want to open it later, he can open it later. Let's give him 24 hours to let it set in. Stop pushing him. That bothers me, that part of who she is. It's like, it's not urgent right now. Nothing's going to change in 24 hours. It's not. Plus, he's going to have to make an appointment to see his attorney anyway. She told him to take it to his attorney. There's no way you could just walk in your attorney's office with it. You have to make an appointment. Anyhow, I caught how that scene was cut up, together. It was a little messy, y'all, because when Fatima sat down, the flap of the envelope was already flipping open and the white sticky part protector strip was still on the envelope. But it was sticky when Zach opened it. All of a sudden, she handed it over him and then it's sticky. So then Zach sees that Zach sees that the amount that they asking for is $500,000. He was like, what? What? $500,000? And I started laughing because he said, I'll move the freaking Zamunda before I pay Heather that damn amount of money. I said, Zamunda, he gonna have to find Zamunda. I said, shoot, I hear that, boy. I hear that. He got a better chance of finding Wakanda, so he better try that. Anyway, that's how this episode ended. Oh, no, it didn't end with that. I'm sorry. It ended with Danny getting home, and she lets Preston know that she found the engagement ring for that girl. And he said, what ring? And he said, For all you know, that ring could be for you. Did you try it on? And she said, no, why would I do that? He said, well, because it's for you. I want you to marry me. And he got down on one knee and he opened that ring case and asked Danny to marry him. And she was like, what the, what? She said, oh, what the hell? And it went off like that. That's how it went off. So y'all let me know down in the comment section what y'all thought about this episode. It had me going. I can't believe they had me crying. So anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. This your girl Barbie J saying peace.